All right, Ty, you ready to? Okay, what's Ty? What are you doing?
You know, like Sub-Zero,
Right.
because that's cold. And this is our cold open.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, cold, right? Like freezing, like with Sub-Zero.
Stay over there.
That's no, that's back. You're thinking
That's not. Isn't that what he
no, that's
says?
Scorpion's thing. It's get over here. It's
No,
it's actually the
stay.
exact fucking opposite.
Stay over there.
No, I mean that makes sense for like COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay over there.
Stay 6 feet over there. I'm sorry.
Do you think Ed Boon would put that in the game?
If he has any, should. Hello, and welcome to the TNT podcast, the show where we talk about anything, and I mean anything except that thing you're thinking of. But I like your style. We'll also be doing whatever the hell else we like, because it's our show, and we do what we want. I'm tired.
It's so fucking cold.
Oh, it's so cold.
I'm also Tyler. It is really cold though, for real.
It is. It has not been cold for like the last... It's been cold for like the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's currently 9 degrees, the actual temperature.
Yeah, so like the wind chill, it's probably more than that.
It's probably like almost 0. So, and that's the world I live in. I live in an area where the air hurts my face.
Goddamn polar vortex.
Yeah.
I remember when they were talking about it, they were like, "Oh yeah, I mean, it'll probably only last a few days, bring some cold weather, some snow for a few days." A few days turned into a week turned into 2 weeks, 2 weeks turned into 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're going on a month of this.
Yeah. Got like over an inch of snow.
Well, total we've got like almost a foot.
Or not an inch, a foot is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got like 10 inches that one night.
And then we got at least like I want to say 3 to 4 more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
I've been doing so much shoveling.
Yeah. Yeah, my back.
I can't feel my arms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's heavy snow.
Yeah, like so especially the one day. So we park off of an alley. So the plow came through the alley and kind of plowed us into our spots. And then I dug us out, and not to mention that it had drifted like up over the like hoods of our cars and everything. It was bad. So I did all that digging one morning because Lexi works in the mornings. I work in the evenings. I work B shift. And so I woke up early, dug her out so she could get out, and I went back to sleep. I'm like, you know what? I'll dig my car out later. When I woke back up, they had plowed again. So I had to re-shovel everything I had just shoveled and my car out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they plow an alley.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten to work. Like...
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, we park on a road usually, and they tell you to move to one side of the road during this day of the week and the other side of the road during the other day of the week. So
yeah, how does that work for your road? Because like you have a pretty narrow street.
Yeah, we just drive over into the parking lot, one of the parking lots around.
Right. And so if you're paying attention, you've noticed there's been quite the gap between episodes.
If you're even still, bothering to listen. Of course, I guess if you're hearing this.
Yeah, right. So okay. So we had this thing, right, where we were recording separately, like responsible people.
Well, first of all, we missed.
We did miss a week anyway.
Which week was it we missed? Was it before that?
Or no? Before that.
No, we did before that week, didn't we? It was the next week.
Yeah, and then we took off last weekend.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's been at least 2 weeks.
3 weeks now.
Okay. So we recorded an entire episode before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It was going to air the Tuesday after the Super Bowl.
So it already wasn't going to make sense.
Right. And we were talking about our predictions and stuff. We had over an hour of recording.
Yeah, that was one of the longer ones.
Yeah, we talked about just a lot about the Super Bowl and a lot about football in general. And so, I mean, if you're not a football fan, I guess you're not missing out on anything. But yeah, so I went to send the file of my side of the record over to Ty, and something fucked up, and I didn't save a copy of it, and the file he got only had the very ending of what we had recorded.
Yeah. And then you were able, somehow we ended up getting the full length of it. Because I think I took it, we used Dropbox. I think most people are familiar with Dropbox. It's like a cloud storage thing where you can share between people. And yeah, you had saved it directly to that. And I think I tried to take it out before it was done uploading. So I finally did take it out once it was all finished, but it was like corrupted somehow. Or like it was a different file because your computer, I think your GarageBand was slightly different or something. I don't know.
At any rate, we lost my half of that
Yeah.
episode.
And it was, by the time I figured out how to extract the audio, it was way too late.
Yeah, it was way too late. We totally got our predictions right, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we picked the exact same score.
Yeah, we picked the score. Like, we both definitely thought the Buccaneers were going to win. Like,
by a lot.
By a lot. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we both went in saying, the Chiefs' super high-powered offense is going to be held to 3 field goals.
That's not what happened.
We did not. We both thought the Chiefs were going to win. We didn't think they were going to win big.
No, but I think I picked...
We both got the Buccaneers score right.
Yeah.
We picked 31 for them.
I think I said 38-31 Chiefs.
And I think I said 35?
Something like that.
34 or 35.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just felt so bad for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I saw a statistic where he ran for almost 500 yards total when he was scrambling. Like, the dude played his fucking heart out.
Dude, and he had so many passes that were just dropped.
Yeah, like, he hit those passes where he'd scramble for, like, 10 seconds behind the line, get sacked, and before he hit the ground, throw a 50-yard pass down the field, hit the guy in the numbers, and they would drop it.
Yeah.
And
I think they have, like, there's this one screenshot where, like, he's dove out and he's like throwing like an underhanded pass, and they're like, this pass hit the receiver in the hands and he didn't catch it.
Yeah. It was so sad to watch, really. The entire team just kind of let him down.
It's just so bizarre because that never happens to the Chiefs.
Right.
They were always so good.
To your point, you did mention that they had a couple starting linemen that were out.
Yeah.
And the
Bucs defensive line is ferocious.
And it showed too, because he had a second to get rid of the ball or he had to run for his life. Meanwhile, Tom had 10 plus seconds each time he took the snap.
Yeah. And
like
the Chiefs, some of the best receiver core in the world.
Yeah, and the Chiefs defense got a flag on every single play. So, I mean,
that was ridiculous.
And I mean, you can sort of blame the refs, but at the same time, like, a lot of the replays, it was like, yeah, like, you can't do that. Like, they were holding on a lot of plays and just silly mistakes that you can't make at that level of the game in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, it was hard to watch. Like I said, we both kind of hate on Tom Brady, so it was kind of disappointing to see him win another Super Bowl. But
yeah, I am not one of the Patriots fans that still likes Tom Brady.
Right.
And it hurt even more with Gronk coming out of retirement.
Yeah,
and
it's like
such a big game.
Yeah, we were texting each other during the game, and we're both like, yeah, Patriots look pretty good tonight, huh?
Yeah, right. It might as well be,
because it was Brady to Gronk for at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
right?
at least 2 of them.
Yeah,
the first 2, I think.
So it's like Jesus. But
I am happy for my Penn State receiver, Chris Godwin. He's
sure. Yeah,
I always really liked him, but
yeah, I mean, at anything, I think I would have been even less disappointed if they had won and it had been a better showing. Because as a Broncos fan, I should hate the Chiefs, but for some reason I like them. It's just, they're fun to watch. They have such talent on that team, and like, especially Mahomes, like the stuff we were talking about where he scrambles, throws a pass while falling down and completes it. He's insane to watch. So I can't help but like them, and I wish they would have had a better showing.
I remember watching their AFC Championship game where they played the Bills, and it's like, it seemed like they're so good that it's just boring because they're just going to score a touchdown on every drive.
Yeah, like
on any other game.
It's very rare for them to not score. Like, their punter very rarely takes the field. It's crazy. And even in the Super Bowl, I don't think he punted very much. It was just like crazy other shit that was happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how many punts he had.
But yeah.
But at any rate, yeah, so we missed that podcast. And then the following week, you were dealing with some throat troubles, so we couldn't record again.
Yeah, I actually had kind of a COVID scare. Lexi had some exposure, and obviously I'm exposed to Lexi because I live with her.
Yeah.
And so I got tested again. It came back negative, so I'm fine. But I did have a little something. I'm not sure what I had, but my throat was not feeling good.
Yeah. So we couldn't record then. And I was thinking about, taking that salvaged audio, but then it's like, it didn't really seem to make sense.
Yeah, at that point, it was just us talking about a game that had already been played for a week.
Like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, and being completely wrong about it. So,
but we're here now.
Here we are.
That's the important thing. We're here now.
Yeah. So, hi.
Hi. Yeah, it's weird to actually like be here in person.
Yeah, it's probably like been damn near a month since we've recorded in person.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Tyler.
Yeah.
Get over here.
No.
Yes.
Don't you mean get over here?
Yes.
So good. I can't wait. So if you don't know what we're talking about, Mortal Kombat.
That's Scorpion.
Yeah, that's Scorpion for Mortal Kombat. If you don't know that, like what?
I feel like everybody knows that.
My mom knows that. But if you're living under a rock or don't pay attention to video games or movies, there is a new trailer out for the new Mortal Kombat movie, and it looks so good. It looks so good.
We've been waiting for an updated Mortal Kombat movie for a long time.
Since like the 90s.
Yeah.
It's probably, I'd put it in my top 5 favorite like video game franchises of all time.
I love it. I'm no good at it at all. My go-to move is jump forward, duck, uppercut.
Yeah, that's a great one. What I do is for that, it's like, you jump forward, kind of land a punch on the way down, and then uppercut.
And then they bounce on the ground, and then you get an uppercut.
Yep.
I mean, I do try and learn a few of the moves of my favorite character, Melina.
Yeah, mine's the same, Melina, on MKX. Because they just added her to 11, and I haven't played. I need to. I still need to.
Most of the moves are the same, I think.
Okay.
As from.
Does she still do like the roll?
I think so.
Okay. Because on MKX, I had combos down that I could do damn near like half health in one combo.
Yeah, I if it's the same one I'm thinking of, I did that too.
And so I would chain together a bunch of different moves, and so I get pretty good with a few characters. I can really play as anybody because I've played Mortal Kombat kind of religiously my whole life. So it's just kind of one of those things I can pick up and be decent. But yeah, so if you've seen the old movies, you know what we're talking about. It is the chintziest shit.
It's really cheesy.
Like, I don't even know if I'd call them B movies. These are like fucking C movies. They're bad.
Yeah. The first one I think is kind of iconic.
Yeah,
the second
Annihilation is
the second
rough.
one is way more cheesy and not as good.
Yeah,
but
like,
it has a lot more characters.
Yeah, so I mean, I love them for what they are.
Mm-hmm. They're a part of my childhood,
and like I'll watch them now and still enjoy the ride.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to sit here and act like they're good movies.
Yeah, they're not.
They're garbage movies.
But if it's on, I'll watch it.
Oh, absolutely. I think I have one of them on DVD. But yeah, at any rate,
your soul is mine.
Like, I just remember, I can't remember if it was in the first or second one, but there's a scene where I think it's Liu Kang. I don't remember what characters it is. It doesn't matter. They were jumping away from an explosion, and it was that obvious green screen explosion in the back, and they're just like leaping.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I saw some like comparisons like between like what Scorpion and Sub-Zero look like in the old movie compared to what they look like in this one. And it's just some guy like in a yellow like outfit that's so awkward in the old one.
There is the one scene like where it's a skeleton or something, isn't it? Like, is that where he like gets his face cut?
Oh, in the old one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like skeleton underneath or something.
Yeah, I think so. Or was that when he did his special move where he rips off his mask and his head is a skull
and
he
first
like breathes?
I don't remember.
I think he does it in one of them.
Yeah.
And but yeah, the special effects look decent. It's not like, I wouldn't compare them to like big studios. Like it's no Marvel special effects.
I mean, they do some stuff like when Sub-Zero like
freezes the gun. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Or when he does like his, are we talking about the old movie or the new movie?
The new one.
Okay. I thought we were still talking about the old one.
No, go ahead. What were you?
Well, I thought you were talking about the special effects for the old
The
one.
old one was bad. But
Yeah.
what were you gonna say though?
Well, like, I mean, it wasn't. It was bad, but it wasn't terrible because, like, when he did like his like freeze stuff, like, I mean, they were able to make that
for the time. It wasn't that,
for the time
and the studio. Like,
Yeah.
it was a B studio, you know. But even the newer one, like, obviously it looks good, but it's almost like I would compare it to a lot of fan made CGI I've seen. Like, it's good, but it's not it's not like Marvel good to me.
I thought like when he like makes his sword out of ice, I thought that looked
yeah,
really good.
it looked really good. There's parts of it that look good, but I think
Or like when Scorpion like comes up and there's the flames all around him.
yeah, I'm thinking. Did you see the part where like Liu Kang made the flame dragon? I thought that looked a little off.
I thought that looked good.
And then Goro, you can tell he's CGI and he looked a little
yeah.
weird. But I mean, it is what it is. And like, I'm kind of being nitpicky, but at the same time, and I told you this, if it turns out being shit, I'm still gonna like enjoy the ride.
Because it's Mortal Kombat.
Right. And it can't be worse than the old ones. And this one's so like, were the old ones PG-13?
I don't know. I don't remember. But these ones are supposed to be a lot more
Yeah, these are
gory
brutal.
and brutal. Yeah.
Like they have,
like Mortal Kombat's supposed to be.
yeah, the fights look like the video game fights.
I think like one of the worst things that happened was like, I don't know, did a guy get his head cut off in the original one?
I don't even remember.
But I know like Sub-Zero gets impaled with a iceberg and
I mean, there were some gory moments in the old ones, but nothing like this one.
yeah.
Like it shows the whole scene where Jax loses his arms, or Sub-Zero freezes him and just breaks his arms
Yeah.
off. Oh, it's so
That was
cool. And like it showed a lot of
Scorpion before he becomes, the
Scorpion.
Hellspawn.
Yeah, when he was just Hanzo.
He was like taking out them other ninja guys
With
with
his
his
spear.
spear thing. Yeah.
So cool. He was like the one at the end of that scene in the trailer, it like went right through the guy's head. Yeah, there's a lot of gory shit that looks great.
I was wondering when it first was showing that kind of stuff, like I was wondering if it was going to portray him in that way where he was going to be human like the whole time.
But then later you see him as Scorpion.
Yeah, later you see him
And he does the get over here. But he actually like has a Japanese accent.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And
Because it's not like the straight get over here.
Yeah, it's not the video game get over here. It's more realistic because that's like what
They
a
are
Japanese guy
yeah.
sounds like. His name's Hanzo Hasashi. He's
Yeah.
Japanese.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people said that like, oh, his voice sounds funny. I'm like, well, like it's a movie. It's not the video
Yeah.
game. It's this actor saying it. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you not want the Japanese actor to sound Japanese? And there was something else I was wanting to mention that looked really cool.
But it's cool. It looks like they're sticking with the traditional storyline of Bihan murdering his family and that creating the feud between Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
right. I heard that Sub-Zero is supposed to be like the main villain in it.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
gonna
looks
be
really
weird.
good. And like they're introducing a new character though. It looks like the
Yeah.
main character with that has like the dragon mark on his
Yeah,
chest.
Cole something.
Yeah, he's not somebody that's been in any of the video games or
Right.
anything.
I'm wondering if like
He seems like the Johnny Cage
yeah,
character.
because like where's Johnny Cage?
Johnny isn't in the trailer.
Yeah.
So
Are they gonna introduce him?
I'm wondering
eventually,
if
or
like yeah, he might have some kind of cameo or if they're just hiding him in the trailer for now for whatever reason. But this guy seems like the Johnny Cage type character. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like in the trailer he was like a UFC
he's an MMA
fighter. Like, yeah,
MMA fighter. Yeah.
right. And so that seems kind of like a Cage type character.
Literally Cage.
Seems a little cagey. He's a cage fighter. But yeah, so I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if they kind of went in a direction like he is Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
But like that'll
Just
be
don't
like
know why they wouldn't do it.
I don't know. And I did see someone talking about how Cage is such this kind of comic relief character.
Yeah.
And they want a serious tone to this
Yeah.
movie, so they might have nixed him for that reason.
Yeah.
But he is such a kind of integral part to.
Integral.
I pronounce that weird. I'm sorry. Integral, whatever.
Integral. That's just either way. That's just how I say it.
But at an important part to the story, like he's the guy. Like other than Liu Kang, like there's a lot of moments where Johnny Cage is the guy in the MK universe that kind of defeats the big bad, you know?
I think more so in the games.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
like his fight with Goro is always iconic.
yeah. Those are 500. 500? 5,000?
I think 500. Those are $500 sunglasses, asshole.
I always loved that. That was my favorite part of the whole movie when I was little.
They even reference that in the games later on.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, because one of the things you can equip in MK11 is $500
sunglasses. And I think, you know, they have the intros in the video game. Like, one character, they'll address each other.
Yeah.
If you do him and Goro, I think he actually says that. Like,
really?
You still owe me for those sunglasses or something like that.
That must have been in 10 because 11, Goro's not a playable character.
Okay, yeah. Goro is in X. And, yeah, I think there was something along those lines. Like, you still owe me for those sunglasses or something
That is
like that.
one of my favorite parts of the new games is the interaction between the
There's
two.
so many. You know how many hours of like voice recording they have to do for, because each
I feel like there's at least 2 or 3 for each pair.
Yeah, and it's like everybody versus everybody. So like there's a lot.
It's fun when you get ones that like have a close relationship.
Yeah,
Like in the new one, like with
Cassie and Jackie. Are great.
Or even with Cassie and Sonya, or in the new DLCs,
Cassie and Johnny Cage.
In the new DLCs, you can do Melina and Shiva, or not Shiva.
Katana?
No, what's her mom's name? Sindel.
Oh, Sindel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Katana and Sindel are good too. But
yeah, because that's
yeah, I need to play that new DLC. I don't know what
it's
I'm
really
waiting on.
good.
Is there a new any more story elements, or is it just the characters that are kind of added in?
I don't think so.
Because they did the new kind of story element
with
recently
Aftermath.
with Liu Kang and all that.
Yeah.
With him being like the god. Mm-hmm. So cool. That version of Liu Kang is badass.
Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, they released the DLC Aftermath. I still haven't played that yet.
Oh, you should. It's really good.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think they came out with a story with a new character.
It don't matter. I'm just glad Melina's in it. Mm-hmm. She's been my favorite ever since like MK2 when she was announced.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Well, I mean, Scorpion's always kind of been my homeboy, but like
Sub-Zero was always my favorite of those two.
Okay.
But I think they're everybody's, when you first start out with it, they're the easiest characters to use.
Mm-hmm. And they're the most iconic.
Yeah.
Like people that barely know Mortal Kombat know Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Melina's in the movie.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Which is crazy because I didn't even see Katana in it.
No, I don't think she is.
Which, out of the 3 women ninjas, Katana, Jade, and Melina, Katana's usually the one that is, the most popular.
Yeah, because she's kind of the good character.
Yeah, she's good Shao Kahn's daughter. And, yeah. But no, I'm here for it.
I dig the looks of her. She looks
really good.
Yeah.
She's in the trailer for like 1 second.
A half a second.
Yeah, she's licking her side.
Yeah, which
and it's
so bloody
cool.
and it's cool.
Yeah.
I hope they get because like I couldn't tell from the pic, but I hope she has like a big mouthful of like fangs and stuff.
I don't think it's going to be quite as like. I think they're going to make
not
it
as
look
cartoony,
like the new ones. Because remember in the older games, she had the almost Baraka style mask and like face.
Yeah.
And in the newer ones, she's actually got lips and stuff, but like the teeth
still goes
go
back
up her
farther,
go up her cheeks and stuff. I think that's what they'll kind of make it. She'll probably have normal front teeth a little bit, but then it'll kind of go up her cheeks.
Yeah.
And she'll have like almost the Joker smile.
Yeah, because I felt like you could see scars on the side.
Yeah, I think you could see a little bit of tearing at the edge of her mouth. So,
but they have her with what do they call that? Where I don't know the hairstyle. It's like 2 braids going back, splitting. You know what I'm talking about?
Like pigtails almost?
Sort of. Yeah, I guess that's what you could call it. Like that's her hairstyle, which is kind of weird because that's never what Melina's had.
She's always just kind of had the messy kind of mop.
Yeah. But I dig it.
It don't matter. I'm just glad she's in it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't know. I was focused more on the action and kind of bloodiness of the whole thing than I was really like the story. Like the story could go in any different way because I think that was kind of their goal too. They were just like, let's show off what we're planning on doing as far as the brutality of everything. Yeah, and it's like we'll get to the story later.
There's like a clip of like 5 seconds towards the end of the trailer after they show like the Mortal Kombat title, and then there's the guy who plays Shang Tsung says finish him, and they show like all these different fast clips of like people getting executed.
Yeah.
And
then
they show like,
Kano.
Kano like stabbing Reptile in the head.
And there was one where he was holding someone's heart, and he's like, that's fucking beautiful, or something like that.
I'm wondering if that's like after that fight or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's his signature, the heart rip.
Mm-hmm.
Did it look like he had a robotic hand, Kano?
I don't know.
Because it showed somebody with a robotic hand. I was assuming it was Jax.
Yeah, I figured it was Jack.
But I don't know.
I feel like he's going to be the comic relief if there's any.
Yeah, Kano. Mm-hmm. That's what kind of looked a little cheesy, was his eye laser.
Yeah.
That was the one that kind of took me. I was like,
I mean, how can you really make that look, though?
I don't know, man.
There's only one way to make an eye laser look.
I think it was because it was like thin, where I pictured it almost as like the thickness of a lightsaber. And again, I'm being very nitpicky, but it's just because I don't know. I have this image of what I think things should look like, and if they're not the exact thing, then I'll be like a little disappointed.
It wouldn't make sense if it was any wider than like an eye shape, though, because it's coming out of his eye.
Look, man, I'm just saying it looked thicker in the games. It looked thicker in person, okay? You look way thicker online than you do in person.
Now, it would be really cheesy if they had him do like his trademark like jump spin attack.
Oh, yeah. Where he just like flies like a cannonball.
Like, I hope they don't have like Liu Kang do that thing like where he...
The bicycle kick?
Yeah.
I hope he makes the sound effects that he does in the games, though. He's so crazy.
Yeah, I don't want him to make it like too cheesy like that.
Yeah, like... It's weird. There's this weird kind of, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it's like this give and take where it's like, I want them to stay true to the MK
There's
universe.
There's a thin line.
But to stay true to the MK universe, these characters are capable of doing these crazy things. Mm-hmm. It's like, I want it to be Mortal Kombat, but slightly more realistic than Mortal Kombat, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Did you catch the part during the... Scorpion Sub-Zero fight in the trailer where Sub-Zero like builds the wall of ice, because that's one of his real moves, I think.
Yeah, it's like the X-ray move.
Yeah, and then he like kicks him into it.
Yeah,
it was cool.
It was the same. The coolest thing I liked of the entire trailer was he like cuts Scorpion with something and then freezes his blood.
I think he cuts him with his own spear.
At any rate, he cuts him with something.
Yeah.
And his blood is like flying up into the air. He freezes the blood, grabs it, and stabs him with it.
Yeah, that was fucking
And
badass.
that's also another thing that I think in MK11, Scorpion or Sub-Zero does that for one of his like special moves, is he kind of freezes the blood like that.
Oh, okay.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, they're doing X-ray moves. Like, yeah, it's so cool.
It's going to be interesting. I'm curious to where they're going to go after this too. Like, I'm wondering if this is going to be more introducing the world of Mortal Kombat, and then they're going to go somewhere from there. If they're going to go into like another movie eventually, or if they're going to, since it's on HBO, if it's going to like go into a series.
I think it probably depends on the reception.
Yeah.
Like if it is a box office flop, they might not be inclined to make another.
Right.
Whereas if it takes off, I could definitely see them doing like a series of movies, or even a series like you said.
Well, I guess it's not really. I mean, it's on HBO, but I guess it is.
It's its own movie, but yeah, they're releasing it on HBO because of the whole COVID thing. Like a lot of people aren't going to go to the theaters, so I've noticed a lot of movies are doing that.
I think they are showing in theaters too, though.
Yeah, they are, and the
some theaters
that are open,
yeah.
Right. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of movies doing that, where it's like, it's like, sure, we'll show them in theaters, but we know a lot of people aren't going to theaters, so it's on this streaming service.
HBO Max has kind of been the leader with that for the most part.
Yeah, Disney Plus did a couple. Like, they released Soul on there, which was a great movie, if you haven't watched that. And they did Mulan, but they charged a bunch.
Yeah,
it's finally on there for free now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the live-action Mulan.
Yeah, I read some article, and it actually kind of made sense. Saying that, because they keep pushing back the Black Widow movie, and they're saying, because even though that's part of the new phase, it's technically part of the old phase story-wise, because it takes place after the Winter Soldier storyline.
Right.
And they're saying that because WandaVision is already out now, they need to hurry up and release this soon, or otherwise it's going to be irrelevant and people aren't going to care.
Right. That does make sense. Yeah, they're releasing WandaVision now, which takes place way later. This
Yeah.
is after Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's between Endgame and the newest Spider-Man.
Okay.
So at any rate, like you said, this is taking place earlier. Like, obviously, Black Widow's still alive
Yeah.
for the Black Widow movie.
Yeah.
So it took place before Endgame, obviously. So, like, yeah, I don't know.
Like, it looks like a good movie.
Yeah, it looks great. Like
I'm really anxious to see it.
I haven't watched a Marvel movie that wasn't fantastic. So, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be great. But, yeah, it's like the more you make me wait, the less I care,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I wish this isn't related to anything, but in terms of like pushing movies back with the Bond movies.
Did they release that yet?
Not yet.
Oh my God.
I can't remember when
do we talked about
Yeah.
pushing that back in like episode 10 or some
yeah.
shit?
Yeah, because they had already pushed it back a year at that point. So it was supposed to come out in like 2019, I think. Like early 2019.
Oh my God.
And they
This
pushed
movie's
it
been finished for like 2 years almost.
Because Billie Eilish did the song for it.
Yeah.
And she's released like the video of it, or like she released the music of it when it was getting ready to come out the first time. And then they're like, oh, no, we're going to push it back. So then the second time, when it was like within a month of coming out, they released the music video for the song. And then they decided to push it back again. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't even know when the next date is, if it's like it's this summer or something, but I just wish they'd just go ahead and release it on streaming
Yeah.
device.
Like, I don't know.
devices.
I think it's just they want to get their money's worth
Yeah.
out of it.
And I get that.
To a point, I understand. It's like, yeah, you spent millions of dollars on this movie and you're going to lose a lot of money if you don't have this big premiere.
Mm-hmm.
But at what rate is it worth it? Because you've already lost this much money because you're just sitting on this project and not making money from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm sure there's business reasons behind what they're doing, but at the same time, if other companies are making it work, then I feel like they can too.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the studios behind James Bond are hurting for cash.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what, Paramount?
I feel like
think?
it's Paramount.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, you know, Disney and Marvel are going to be just fine
Yeah.
if they lose a few dollars on the Black Widow movie. I think they're going to be okay.
So another Disney related thing that made me think of this, because, you know, Disney having all its money, that's what got me thinking of this part, is a lot of people have been, well, I'm going to cancel my Disney Plus subscription. And you know why? Over the whole issue with what's her face from The Mandalorian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Gina Carano.
Why? They're mad that she got fired?
Yeah, because they thought she, you know, was unjustly fired for expressing her First Amendment rights.
Well, it's like, fuck her, it doesn't matter. Like, people can fire people for whatever the hell reason they want.
Yeah, because
like,
it's a private business.
yeah, she's not entitled to that job.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't have the First Amendment rights to say whatever you want on the set of Star Wars The Mandalorian.
right. She absolutely can say whatever the fuck she wants. She's not going to jail.
No. She's lost her job.
Yeah. The person that signs her paycheck didn't like what she said, so they fired her.
Yeah.
Like, that's just something that you can do.
Well, that's just, you know, cancel culture, which is just getting out of control. Blah, 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 blah.
Tough dick. Like, for real. Like, if I'm an employer and I can fire whoever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Like, especially, like, I'm sure they had a contract and everything, and I'm sure somewhere in that contract it said, I can fire you for whatever the fuck reason I feel like, because they usually put that in there. Like, I know I've skimmed all the contracts that I've had to sign when I get employed, and I usually see something that says, like, you can be let go with or without reason. It literally says that in there. And so it's like...
And one of those reasons is probably, you know, comparing yourself to the Jews of the Holocaust era, which is just... like not a good idea most of the time.
Yeah, I have conservative views, so I'm just like the Jews of the Holocaust. Fucking what? Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's all these Republicans all over the place getting executed for their beliefs.
Yeah. It was actually the Republicans wanting to execute other members of Congress because they didn't line up with their beliefs.
Yeah.
Like,
right?
You're literally the Nazis in that situation.
People saying hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence.
actually the bad guys in that situation.
Right.
If you're going to compare yourselves to the Holocaust, you're the Nazis.
Exactly.
So like, and it's kind of unfortunate because I do like her as an actress.
Yeah.
I really do.
She did a good job, but
I liked her in Mandalorian. I liked her in Deadpool. But like, yeah, it's like.
but
shit.
this isn't the first thing that she's done, because she also, I forget what the first one was off the top of my head. I know the one was she started like making fun of the whole people like expressing their pronouns situation, like
really?
they, them,
Wow.
he, she.
Oh yeah, she did that. She put
like beep boop,
yeah
or
a bunch of
something like that.
a bunch of shit
like
in her
nonsense
like,
words. Yeah,
Instagram account or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, like, and I mean that is what it is. Like people are absolutely allowed to say whatever they want, but you're not free of the consequences of saying whatever you want.
because she knew what she knew the kind of look that it would have.
Yeah.
And right or wrong, I mean, you can't have that nowadays.
Yeah, especially for a company like Disney that wants their image to be good.
Yeah.
When someone's saying crazy shit and talking like any negative reference to the Holocaust is not going to go over well.
Yeah.
So like
Disney is far from the most innocent. Like they portray a family image. I mean, I know they have this background of, Walt Disney being like
he was
bit
like
of an
anti-Semitic, yeah.
still Disney portrays a family atmosphere,
Right.
that they're trying to shoot for.
And regardless of what company it is, I feel like that wouldn't have gone over well regardless.
Right.
Because image is like
Sorry, I didn't hold it up by the mic when I did it.
Did you miss that?
I'm rusty. I'm sorry.
But image matters for that kind of thing. Like
Absolutely.
for all the people that say that they're going to boycott Disney for firing her, I feel like there may have been even more outrage if they didn't do anything and just
Right.
were like, oh, that's fine, she can say that. You know, me personally, like, I don't care if she would have kept her job. Like, okay, like to me, yes, it's in bad taste. What she said was wrong. She shouldn't have said it. But
I wouldn't have like stopped watching it or anything.
Right.
No.
I would have been like I wouldn't. I don't know if I even would have said like she should lose her job for that. I would just say like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't say shit like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't feel bad that she lost her job. Like,
No, not at all. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a difference between the First Amendment. The freedom of speech that's outlined in the First Amendment means you can say what you want without legal repercussions. It doesn't say anything that your boss can't fire you for saying something shitty.
Even though you still like can't go into a theater and yell bomb or fire.
Or fire. Right.
Yeah.
There's certain stipulations around your freedom of speech.
Yeah. It's not absolute.
But yeah.
But yeah, that applies
she is in no legal trouble.
Yeah. Exactly.
So her freedom of speech under the First Amendment is still intact. Like, I don't understand. They think that freedom of speech means I can say whatever the fuck I want whenever without consequence.
Yep.
And that's not what it means.
Yeah.
Like, why are you mad at me? I'm just expressing freedom of speech. It's like, yeah, but you said something shitty, so now I'm pissed. Like,
Yeah. Like, I mean, legally you're allowed to say it, but that doesn't mean like
that doesn't mean I'm not going to rock your shit for saying it. Like, people say like, oh, there was this expression their freedom of speech, and then he punched him in the face. It's like, yeah, you were calling him the N-word. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, it's like your speech has consequences, even if they're not legal consequences.
Yeah, I mean, there is such a thing as hate speech,
Right. And
which, you know, like if that incites stuff, then you're going to be held accountable for
Right.
it.
yeah, they try to skew it, and it's only like towards them, you know, because if someone else wants to express their First Amendment by, say, I don't know, peacefully protesting or something, then they're not okay for it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yes, I can say whatever I want, but you can't protest for something I don't agree with. like even like if the whole like Trump supporter crowd would have shown up at the Capitol and protested, held up signs, chanted, whatever.
Which, let's be fair, a lot of them did.
Sure.
Some of them did. Maybe not a lot.
I would
but
think
some
they
of
were
them did.
stupid. I would think, well, like, what the fuck? Your guy lost, like, get over it. But at the same time, I would respect their right to do so. They don't have a right to storm the fucking Capitol building looking to execute members of Congress.
Yeah.
So, like, for them to have this outrage over the Black Lives Matter movement and everything, and it's just like, it's so hypocritical because me as a person on the left and a liberal, like, I'm not against their right to hold up their signs.
No.
I'm just, I can criticize their cause and be like, yeah, that's stupid. Why are you out there? But I'm not going to say they shouldn't be out there.
Right. They can be there and protest all they want. It's not against the law.
Yeah, and it's protected by their First Amendment. You're allowed to have peaceful gatherings and protest. That's kind of what our democracy is built on. But
you wouldn't have known that from that incident that happened in D.C. when, he gassed all those people by the church.
No shit. The fucking president of the United States gassed people that were just standing there with signs chanting.
Yeah.
They weren't being violent until they got gassed.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was the case in most of the things. Like, it wasn't violent until the police and,
started causing shit.
Yeah, started making it violent. Like, yeah, I'm going to get violent with you, Ty, if you shoot me in the face with something. Like, I'm going to get violent.
Not if it's a gun.
Well, yeah, if it's a gun and you shoot me in the face, I might be pretty docile after that. But, like if I'm getting hit in the face with rubber bullets and tear gas, you're goddamn right I'm going to get violent.
Yeah. Or like if there's like I see somebody do that to a kid.
Yeah.
Because there were kids that got tear gassed and all that.
Yeah, it's
pepper sprayed.
And then you turn around and see people being led down the steps hand in hand with police officers at the Capitol insurrection. Mm-hmm. And people want to tell me white privilege isn't a thing.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Have you heard the latest Q theory?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
About March the 4th?
Yeah.
That's
Trump's
the date now?
Still secretly president.
Yeah, because the U.S. is a corporation.
Yeah, the U.S. is a corporation. And so, like, from 18 something, I don't even remember what it was, all the presidents from 18 what the fuck haven't actually been president because reasons. And so that means
on March 4th, it officially is going back to become a country.
Right. And so Trump will be president again, even though he technically wasn't president because nobody's been president since the 1800s.
Right. Oh, it makes so much sense.
Those people are actually insane.
Yeah.
Like,
I seriously, I don't know.
They're dangerously insane.
What's going to happen on March 4th when nothing happens? Like, are they just going to move it to another day?
Yes.
Make up an excuse and say...
It's the exact same thing as the people that predict the end of the world.
Yeah.
The guy that said it was going to end in 2012, he moved the date, and then he moved the date, and then when it didn't happen, he moved the date. And then after it didn't happen that time, he moved... It's just going to be the same thing.
Because the people are so gullible that when you're wrong, you can just say, well, something, this or that, reasons, it's actually this day. We miscalculated.
Yeah. And... Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, okay,
I have seen a lot of people, not enough, but a good chunk of people that followed the Q movement are actually kind of waking up and be like, holy shit, I've been lied to this whole time. And I hope that happens more and more because you actually...
The longer it goes.
Yeah, you shared that link with me that showed a lot of what people were talking about in the Q movement.
Yeah, this guy was like, he kind of was listening in on their chat groups. There was like this group where like they can leave voice messages to each other.
Yeah, and there were a few of them on there saying like holy shit, guys, have we really been lied to this whole time? And like some of them were kind of coming to grips with it, but a lot of them aren't.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to happen more on March 5th when nothing happens. They'll be like, holy shit, we were lied to again.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a decent chunk of them that will never give up.
Because somebody will come up with another reason for why it didn't happen on March 4th.
Right. And I don't know if they'll still believe that Trump's going to be president for some reason, but then after that, they're just going to get behind him to run again.
Yeah.
And personally, I'm okay with him running again. He'll just lose again.
Hopefully.
Well, he lost by like the biggest margin in U.S. history, so we'll beat him again. I'm not worried about that. So, I mean, go for it, I guess. Whatever. Right. Split the Republican Party in half. That's fine with me.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if he forms his own party. But, yeah, like, what was I going to say? Or it's like, how much can you trust these people to give up on something when they still didn't give up on it after Pizzagate went down, when the one guy went there, shut up the place, and found out there was no basement where they were supposed to... The core belief of Q is supposed to be that they... like are pedophiles that eat babies and drink their blood and sacrifice them, and that whole foundation was proven wrong.
Yeah.
When the guy went there, shot up the place, and found out there's no basement.
Yeah, there's not even a basement. They were supposed to be doing this stuff in the basement, and it's just foundation. There's no fucking basement.
But that didn't stop people from
People
not believing.
still believe it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that was just the wrong place or whatever.
Right.
Like, it's still definitely happening.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
and
just
the people
crazy
that actually believe there's a video of Hillary Clinton cutting the face off a baby and eating it.
That was bizarre. I found out about that for the first time on which podcast was that on?
There, I don't know. One of the Puzzle and the Thunderstorm guys, the Scathing Atheist guys.
Yeah. And they were frazzle drip. Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's the fucking.
I had never heard of that.
It sounds like
before.
a venereal disease.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I caught the frazzle drip again. But yeah, it's people believe that for real.
That is the core
in real
foundation.
life.
That is the core foundation of their beliefs. Like, that is where Q started.
I love, because they talked about it on that show too. Like, there's some people that are like, yeah, I follow Q, but I don't get into the real crazy stuff. I just believe that Hillary Clinton's eating baby faces.
Yeah.
That's what? That's mild for what they believe
minimum.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the least crazy thing they believe in.
It's so stupid. And like they said, that's actually something that could actually happen. Like, that's one of the few things that are
Hillary
possible.
Clinton babies and faces and eating are all things.
Yeah,
so
things that you can do.
I guess that's plausible to have happened.
Oh
but
God.
It's so crazy. How do you get to that mindset, Ty?
I don't know.
How are people that far gone?
I don't know. Because this was Q came about before the election. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know how that all started. Was it just because I guess maybe it came around during the first election.
I think it might have.
As a way to, like, try and discredit Hillary.
Yeah, because a lot of it's about Hillary. So I feel like a lot of this probably came about in the 2016 election.
Yeah.
But my hypothesis on this, and I could be way off, but it doesn't matter. I think the first Q, I think, was just some guy trolling people. Mm-hmm. I think some guy probably got on and made up some crazy ass story and just did it for funsies, right? Mm-hmm. And then it kind of took off a life of its own. And I doubt very much the first guy that posted as QAnon is still the guy posting as QAnon. Mm-hmm. He probably dropped it and left, and some other people, or probably more likely several other people, are getting on posting as Q now. And it's kind of taken on this life of its own, where I doubt it was intended to do that in the beginning. I'm almost sure it was probably just some guy trolling.
Mm-hmm. It'd be impossible to pin down now who originated it, but
sure. But
I feel like, I don't know. It's like, what is the reason for people believe? Because I feel like, I mean, I don't live in another country, so I guess I can't say for sure, but it sure seems like the bulk of conspiracy theorists live in the United States. Mm-hmm. And is it like a lack of critical thinking being taught in schools? Is it something with schooling, or is it something with parenting? Why are so many people, like, refusing to use their critical thinking skills to think this probably isn't true?
Right. That's a fair point. I guess I'd never thought about it like that as much, but yeah, like, Americans...
What makes people susceptible to believe that stuff? Is it being taught that religion is real?
I mean, but there's religion everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it's like, I don't understand, but I think you're right. I mean, it's hard to say because, like you said, we don't live in other countries, but I feel like conspiracy is way more rampant in America than anywhere else. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure exactly why.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I guess if we knew why, we'd be doing something.
Yeah, I know our education
is
isn't necessarily as good as other places, and we don't really...
Quite the opposite.
Yeah, and we don't teach critical thinking as much as we should. But I've said this before, I think the internet is a lot to blame too.
Yeah.
Because, you know...
Those people were once secluded, but now they have a community.
Yeah. When you're the crazy guy around a bunch of sane people and you say something crazy, even if they're not mean to you about it, they'll be like, no, man, like that's obviously not real. And they'll explain to you why it's not real.
Yeah.
But when crazy people get into a group of other crazy people that they say something insane, and then the rest of the people back them up on it, it's like, yeah, that actually sounds right. Then it becomes this thing and it draws in more crazy people, and then it just spirals out of control. And even people that may have been rational at one point will find this community and start reading things and start thinking that some of these dots are connecting.
Right.
Because I've seen that. I've seen people I know personally that I once thought were pretty rational people start to buy into some of this crazy shit. So it's like the internet is this double-edged sword where it has all the information you could ever want on it, but at the same time, it has all the information you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair point. I never thought of that. But I mean, again, with the religion thing, like you said, there's religion everywhere, but I feel like, and you know, there are other countries that are just as bad, but I feel like the U.S. is the most developed country that has the highest rate of religiosity.
I think that's probably accurate, yeah.
And I don't know if that feeds into it or not, but
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a Q believer that isn't also a Christian.
a white Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like it feeds into each other. Like if you're incapable of critical thinking enough to believe in one, then why not the other? And I will bash religion until I'm blue in the face. I don't want to necessarily bash the people that believe in it because I was once a believer. I've been there.
Yeah, me too.
And growing up in a country like this where it's normal to be Christian and it's just normal to believe in these things, it's kind of unfair to judge somebody based on that.
For sure. Yeah.
So, because I know a lot of people that believe in God that won't believe in Q. Like, even though to me, they're just as insane.
Yeah.
But one's accepted where it's just like, yeah, this is just the way we believe around here. Whereas other is bonkers. So, but I think it is an important point to bring up where it's like, if you're susceptible to misinformation, be it religion or, you know, the fake news or the Q or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you're susceptible, that's a hard word for me to say.
That's fair.
And I just can't fucking talk. But if you're yeah, if you get, you know, if you are able to be affected by those types of information, be it one or the other, I think it can lead to you believing in one or the other.
For sure. Yeah.
This world, Ty.
Yeah. It's also fun to believe in conspiracies.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like to read up on conspiracies,
like,
or
I
even
don't
watch
believe in
YouTube
them.
videos or whatever.
Yeah, I don't believe in them, but it's fun to read about. It's interesting. It's like fiction. It's like reading a good fiction story.
I can't tell you how many 9/11 documentaries I've watched that have conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And
Loose change.
yeah, and I used to buy into a lot of that, really.
Yeah.
And I will admit that some things don't line up, but at the same time, I believe that if you go into something looking for anomalies, you're going to find them.
Yeah.
So, because there's not going to be an answer for everything in any situation. You're going to be able to raise the questions like, well, I don't really know. And then you're like, oh, you don't know, huh?
Yeah.
And then you can make up a reason.
Yeah, well, like, because, you know,
Because jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
Yeah, it weakens it, though.
Yeah. Which can, you know, cause a building to fucking collapse. But I'm not a scientist.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I used to buy into a lot of that, too, but it's still fun to read about.
Yeah, as I'm growing more and more skeptical, and we've talked about on the show at least once, maybe a few times, but how like I like to entertain the thought of aliens and even alien abduction, even though I know I'm gonna say 99% plus of alien abduction stories or encounter stories are probably bullshit.
Yeah.
I like to hold out on that 1%.
Yeah.
You know, because.
I
just like the idea. So even if I listen to something and I'm like, that probably didn't happen, I enjoyed the story. You know?
Yeah, a lot of it probably is like sleep paralysis or dreaming or something or other.
Especially
like
when like people will have an experience and they don't remember it very clearly. And then like I listened to a podcast, I can't remember the people's names, but it's like one of the most well documented alien abduction stories of all time. It was this couple, they got like abducted and had all this shit happen to them supposedly, but they recalled a lot of what happened under hypnosis, and that's not reliable.
Yeah.
Because you can remember a dream, you can come up with something, because under hypnosis, your mind is almost in a dreamlike state.
Yeah.
So you're gonna quote remember things that didn't actually happen, and it's like it's not reliable to remember something under hypnosis.
Do you buy into hypnosis?
Not so much. I believe that somebody can hypnotize me and put me in a relaxed state. I think that's something that can happen. I don't think they can put me in a quote trance.
Like a suggestive state?
Maybe even that. Yeah, I think they can relax me enough to where I might just be open to interpretation of whatever. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how much I've ever bought into that.
I don't think hypnosis is as powerful as people think it is. I don't think that someone's going to wave a fucking watch in front of my face and put me to sleep. But I think if someone just talks to me in a quiet voice, because ASMR is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it'll relax me, but I don't believe it has these kind of effects that people think it does.
Right.
Whereas, like, I feel like it kind of puts your mind in this state where you're, I don't know, more likely to, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how I want to say it, but like to bring up like false memories or something like that.
Yeah.
Because your mind's kind of, I want to say it's like when you're dreaming. Like, obviously, I'll make up some crazy bonkers ass shit in my dreams. You ever have a dream where something just off the wall happens and you just go with the flow?
All the time.
Yeah, and you wake up and you're like, how in the fuck did I think that was real?
Because, most of the time I don't realize I'm dreaming while I'm dreaming. Most of the time I don't remember my dreams anyway.
Right, but if you wake up, there's been times I wake up and I'm like, in my dream, I was so sure that was real.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, how in the fuck did I think that
I dreamed there was a chicken with like human legs walking down the street, and I was like, oh,
and it was talking to me, and I was like, oh yeah, that chicken's there all the time. And so like, I feel like if hypnotists are able to put you in that kind of sleep-like state, you're more likely to.
I just never bought into the thing where like, okay, when I snap my fingers, you're going to start barking like a chicken.
I never believed in any of that. Not that kind of hypnotism.
And I know there's a thing like where they can do, like where, you're trying to remember repressed memories or something like that.
Right. I don't think I buy into that. I think the quote repressed memories, and this is kind of what happened with the alien abduction. Like, oh, I don't remember because it was traumatic or because the aliens did something to make me not remember. And so they were trying to bring back those memories. I think what happens is your mind gets into this weird state where it'll create the memory that you're looking for. You know what I'm saying?
So, like, what's the point of hypnosis then?
I don't think there is one.
Yeah.
I think, if anything, the person being hypnotized, if they believe in the hypnosis, they'll be more likely to believe that the memory that they concocted themselves is a real memory.
Yeah.
Whereas if I went into hypnosis, nothing would probably happen to me because I'm a skeptic. I don't believe in hypnosis. But if somebody going in believes in hypnosis, then they can feel like
suggestive to
it. It's almost like the placebo effect, like it can have a real effect if you think it's going to have a real effect.
And again, I think that goes back to not having critical thinking skills.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of that ties together. And so, yeah, while I want to give credit to alien abduction theories or experiences or stories, whatever, I also have the critical thinking skills required to understand that it's probably bullshit.
Yeah.
I just like to entertain it because I want it to be real.
Yeah. I think what you're remembering that from, I think there was a citation needed episode that they did on
alien abductions. Yeah.
But I think they talked about that couple that was the first one.
They talked about it on them, but there was a podcast that was entirely devoted to that case.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it was called Strange Arrivals.
Oh, okay.
And it went in depth. It had actual voice recordings of the actual people that it had happened to, and they went in depth with it. But the people that did the podcast were also, they were doing it fair. They weren't going in saying, this is what happened, this is real. They weren't going in saying, these people were crazy, this is bullshit. They just said, here's the information, do with that what you will.
Yeah.
Didn't
they, the lady, draw, a map of, stars? And
yeah. And apparently it lined up really well with a certain area, but it's like, do you know how many fucking stars there are?
Yeah.
I can...
Just that we can see.
I can jizz onto a paper towel
And like make shapes.
And the specks will line up with somewhere in the galaxy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
please don't do that.
I'm going to now. I'm going to be like, yeah, this
at least not when I'm around.
This looks just like the Jagaba system. More like the Jizapa system. That was dope. We can cut that.
No, I'm leaving that in. Make you look like a fool.
So that was a weird edit, and we're back. But yeah, no, there's so much chaos in the universe that I can literally put any kind of specs on a map and say, oh, this looks like this area from this angle.
Yeah.
Because there's infinite angles that you can, well, I guess there's only 360, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. There's so many angles you can choose with so many stars. It's always going to line up somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah. She remembered like certain symbols and all this other crazy shit. And like, she was the one that started remembering more and more. The guy was just kind of like, he was freaked out about it and he was remembering stuff. There was one that was really eerie. It was a hypnosis session, and they had the actual recording from it. Mm-hmm. And he just started like panicking. He was like, I see them. And he's like, they're coming for me. And like, he's like, I don't want to go. He's like, I don't want to go. They're taking me. He's like, I don't want to. And he was freaking the fuck out. And like that shit's like that shit's eerie.
Yeah.
And even if it was his mind kind of, you know, making up that memory for him, it still doesn't make it any less unsettling to hear.
That makes me think of like The Fourth Kind.
Yeah. The Fourth Kind's such a creepy fucking movie.
Yeah, it is.
I love it so much though. But yeah, just hearing him, because in that moment, whether it was real or not, he thought it was, and the fear was real.
Yeah, that's enough.
So
to make it creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that case, even though what happened was probably able to be explained by natural phenomena, but it's a fun story to listen to regardless to me.
Well,
we meandered a lot.
Yeah, we did.
I don't even remember where we started. Super Bowl?
That.
And then Mortal
Kombat, yeah.
And now we're on aliens again.
It always comes back to aliens. It always comes back to
aliens. Aliens. The guy from Ancient Aliens. With the big hair.
Yeah. It's funny.
You ever watch Ancient Aliens?
No,
You've never seen an episode of it?
I may have seen an episode, but it's just such a crock.
That used to be my shit. I watched that shit like every day.
I never believed any of it, so it was just like whatever. But
did you know that Atlantis was actually a spaceship?
No, I didn't.
Uh-huh. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show, but that wasn't a theory on Ancient Aliens. They're like, what if Atlantis didn't sink? What if it flew away?
Yeah, and I've seen things like where the Nazca lines, they think, are like, you know, the things with the big heads are actually like aliens with space helmets and stuff like that.
The Nazca lines are weird. Like, why draw these intricate designs that can only be seen from above?
I used to think that too, and then I started... Well, I didn't start thinking on my own. Like, I've read that, like, they think they were making them for their gods to see.
That makes sense.
Because, you know, gods are up there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fair. But at the same time, I feel bad for them because they would make these admittedly amazing drawings in the sides of mountains and shit, and they never got to see them. We get to see them, though.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's impressive as shit for the time to be able to accurately, like, plan out and draw something that big.
Yeah.
And actually and it end up what they were going for. Mm-hmm. It's impressive.
And I didn't know this either, but since playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which takes place in ancient England, there's apparently ones there too that are like carved into like hillsides. That are like big giant figures.
Yeah, because they even sort of half reference that in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Remember?
Oh yeah,
there was the carving in the side of the hill that was from like the alien Pokemon.
Yeah.
And that's the new ones. Sword and Shield are set in England, so yeah, it's kind of a similar thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It all ties to Alien and Pokemon. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed our triumphant return.
Yeah, and we're going to try and stay on as good a schedule as we can.
Let's not fuck up again.
Yeah,
Ty.
Let's not miss
if
3 weeks.
If we record remotely again, and I'm sure we will for some reason in the future have to do that, I'm going to save like 3-4 copies of the audio before I try to send it to you.
Yeah. Probably a good idea.
I didn't mess up. Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams, YouTubes.
Yeah, and oh damn it, that was in that episode that we lost where I mentioned all the things that we're on and
all the podcasts.
Yeah, keep talking as filler while I look this up.
I'm talking as filler while he's looking that up.
Good job. You're so good at it.
Yeah, but we're on all those things. The links will be in the description because they work now because Ty was able to figure that out.
Maybe we'll leave a link to that Mortal Kombat trailer so people.
Oh yeah, so
I mean, even though you could just YouTube it, but we'll leave it directly.
We'll put a link in there if you want to check out that trailer that we were talking about, whether you know Mortal Kombat or not, just to have a reference of what the hell we're talking about.
Right. Okay.
Well, while you're looking it up, I know we're on obviously Apple Podcasts. We've always been on. We're on Spotify.
Hang on.
Are we? Did you say
Apple
we're
Podcasts,
on iHeartRadio,
Google Podcasts, the Podbean app, which is our hosting thing that we use, Spotify, still working on Amazon Music and Pandora because they're being difficult.
Did you say we got on Stitcher?
I was gonna get to that.
I'm sorry.
You're just gonna do my job.
I'm literally gonna walk all over the thing you're doing right now.
TuneIn and Alexa, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Listen Notes.
God damn.
Stitcher, and something called Deezer.
More like D's nuts, am I right? There go our Deezer listeners.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're listening to it, you're using your whatever, podcast listening of choice. But it is available. But even if you're not,
if you prefer something else, we are on those mediums.
Yep.
And if you know of people that listen to podcasts, like if they're like, oh, this is on Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, well, I don't have an iPhone. Well, it's on this. So
yeah, it's just about everything except Pandora.
Fuck Pandora.
They need to get with the goddamn program.
Wasn't it one of the first ones you tried to get in contact with?
I emailed them and they're like, oh, okay, we'll submit it for review, and I'm still sitting here waiting.
Who listens to the podcast on Pandora anyway?
I don't know.
Nobody's listening to this one on Pandora. I can tell you that was true. But yeah, with that,
if we lose this episode, I'm gonna lose my mind.
If we lose this episode, I'm gonna lose my life. It always ends with me killing myself.
Yeah, right? You still haven't actually gone through with it.
Not yet. But that is all we have to say on that.
And we will see you next time. Stop it.
No.
You're not even what?
Nothing.
Are you sure?
Well.
Yeah, you're sure.
Are you sure? Yeah, yes, sure.
All right. Take 2.